Hey ballers, it's Horton here, and I'm at the Ball Spray headquarters here in Arvin, California. Got the Ball Spray Bumblebee Pro Star right over there, kind of behind the camera. And I have a box here from the nice folks at Radar Skis. It's too small to be a ski. I think we've used that joke too many times, so we're just going to let that one go. So I have an idea of what's in here. I haven't actually seen it, but so let's talk about why they did what they're trying to do, and then we'll look at how they did it. So this is a pretty standard binding plate. This one happens to be Radar, but as far as the screws that mount into your ski, it's standard industry-wide, at least on front bindings. We know that back bindings across brands can be slightly different. I can't even go there to talk about it. It's so frustrating. But here's the deal. Most every front binding plate on the industry today is slotted on 2 holes per side and then has holes in the other. I think, some of the brands have the holes up here and the slots here and here, whatever. It's not the point. The point is that they use holes to keep your bindings from sliding forwards and backwards while you ski. The problem with it is, generally speaking, a hole position is 3/8 of an inch. Radar has something called the sequence plate that kind of, it's a little bit complicated to explain, but the point is, if you know how to use it, you can move your bindings forwards and backwards half that amount to 3/16. So that's kind of cool. So they've already tackled that. But the reality is, if you talk to some very elite skiers, they're moving their bindings forwards and backwards 1/8 of an inch, or a 1/16 of an inch at a time. Well, actually, I'm sorry, let me take that back. 1/8 of an inch might be a big adjustment. 1/16 or less. Just like fin adjustments. We're moving our fins, 1,000ths here, 2,000ths here. Why would we be locked on a standard plate to 3/8 of an inch forwards backwards adjustment when your fin is infinite? So what I believe we're going to find in this box is that Radar have tackled that. Now there are some people that will just take a Dremel and just Dremel out these holes and do slots all the way around and then crank their screws really tight, and it works fine. I don't like cranking my screws tight, and I don't trust it. And there are some aftermarket products which, ironically, I was involved in personally getting those going, who also address this issue. But this is a out-of-the-box solution. No aftermarket, no screwing around, no dremeling, no drilling. Let's see what they've done. WeaponsEdge.com, Jeff Castro, Lucky Knife. You guys know the shtick. Okay, so, very cool. So, Radar has gone from an aluminum plate, so this is for the vapor bindings, and this would replace the current, what they would call the sequence plate. So they've gone from aluminum plate to a carbon plate, and they've got some cool stuff here. I see what they're doing. So their goal, again, is that you mount your vapor bindings front and back, and when you get done wrapping your head around what I think I'm about to show you, you're going to be able to move your bindings at tiny, tiny increments forwards and backwards to adjust your ski. I'm sure there's instructions, but come on, have we met instructions? So, yeah, that's what they did. That's frickin' cool. That's so cool. All right, I think this is going to be a little bit difficult to show on video, but here is your binding screw, and here is this custom plastic piece that they've manufactured, and on the bottom of this plastic piece is 2 little pins, and on the plate they have machined little tiny holes and I don't know what the increment is. Brooks, you always give me a hard time for not knowing what I'm talking about, and you didn't tell me how this worked before you sent me this box. So if I screw it up, it's not my fault this time. So there's little tiny holes in here, and what's going to happen is when you screw, obviously it slots front and back, and when you put this on here, those pins slide right down to the screw, you screw it down, and it's secure on the ski. That's really freaking cool. What I think says a lot about this design is, I was just kind of making fun about Brooks, how he didn't tell me how this worked. I pulled it out and looked at it, and it's pretty darn intuitive. It's pretty obvious. So I think this is going to work really well. So, yeah. I like it. All right, ballers. So it is the new, I don't even know what they call it. Hang on. What do they call this thing? They're calling it the G10, or the Carbon G10 Universal Plate. So it's just the new sequence plate, or the universal plate. So they're being wise. They're not calling this a carbon plate because it is carbon laminate on either side of a G10 core. I appreciate their honesty on that. I'm not trying to be sexy and say, ooh, it's carbon fiber, which, I mean, it's carbon top and bottom, and that's great. This is going to work really well. Hey ballers, so we've moved out to the bow of the Ball Spray Bumblebee Mastercraft Pro Star because I think this is really, really hard to see. So if you can see in the light here, there's these really fine machined holes, and they're actually even labeled as 3/16, 7/16, half-inch, quarter. So there's all these little holes there. And you can see my boat is moving around there on the left. And then this piece right here is going to fit right in here, and those pins on this plastic piece are going to snap right down in there. And if I was on my ski, I'm going to be careful not to, ding my boat here, but then this screw goes right down through that plastic piece and tightens down into the insert on the ski. So I can't say this enough. It's kind of complicated to try to figure out how to show it to you, but if you had this in your hand, you could adjust your bindings with incredible granularity without having to go through aftermarket solutions, without having to grind on your plates, and without having to really modify your equipment because it comes stock straight from the folks at Radar. If you're running vapor boots, I think this is awesome. Rock on. Fantastic. So congratulations to the guys at Radar, and I look forward to seeing you guys try it. Let me know what you think. Thanks, ballers.